What is good, people? Welcome back to 8 Count. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about this UFC Fight Night main event between Rob Font and Chito Vera. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment down below, let me know who you think is going to win and how, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming content. But let's get into it anyway, guys. In terms of strength of schedule for the UFC, we had a decent fight night last week. We've got a really good fight night, in my opinion, coming up this week. And we've got Oliveira versus Gaethje next week, which I can't wait to talk to you about. But in terms of this card, guys, it's not the strongest card, but it's definitely got some, interesting fights. Obviously, Arlovski against Collier is going to be a bit of a weird one. In my opinion, Arlovski fights are pretty boring at the moment, but as well as them being boring, it's also incredible to see at his age he's able to beat some of these young dogs. And Andre Fili is always a fun watch. Jared Gordon against Grant Dawson is going to be a really fun fight. I think there could be a finish in this one. I'm actually going to lean towards Jared Gordon though. That's how I feel going into it. Darren Elkins, blood and guts warrior, man. This guy still doing it in the UFC. And we've got Jotko against Meerschaert, and I think this fight will be fun as well. But let's just get straight into this main event, guys. I think this... If I can find my mouse, right, here it is, yeah. But yeah, I think this main event is insane. I think if you look at both fighters, their strength of schedule, coming into this fight, two amazing bantamweights. I mean, 135 pounds in combat sports is so fucking lit. I mean, you look at the boxing, MMA, I mean, everywhere. The amount of talent you've got is just phenomenal. But yeah, I think this fight between Rob Font and Chito Vera is, I think it's going to be a really good fight, and I actually think it's going to be a fight of the year candidate. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, because it could be a snooze fest, but I don't think it will be. I think if you look at both guys, this fight's definitely flown under the radar, and I think that's probably due to both of the guys in this main event probably being a bit underrated. I think Rob Font, obviously coming off the defeat to Jose Aldo, is going to be, hungry to put on a performance. And I think a lot of people might be doubting him coming into this one. And Chito Vera, he's put in some fantastic performances since the loss to Jose Aldo. And before that, it was a great streak he was on as well. And if it wasn't for the let's say robbery against Song Yadong, he would have been on a killer win streak. And that Aldo fight was really close. I think you saw what a veteran Aldo was in that third round to be able to just get to the back of Vera and kind of wear his time out. And but yeah, really impressive from both of these guys. I think you look at the Font versus Aldo fight, and obviously you do MMA maths and go, well, Chito took less damage, so he's probably going to win this fight. But it doesn't work like that. I think Font had really good success in round one early on, but kind of faded away as the fight went on. And I mean, there's no shame in that. I think Aldo, despite looking a bit washy at 145 at one stage, has proven that he's still an elite level fighter. And I think Rob Font's got a little way to go to get to the very top, but I do think both of these bantamweights are going to be around at the top of the division for a very long time. I mean, like I said, you look at the strength of schedule coming into this fight for both of these guys, they've really put in the work, and I think they're both probably on the verge of maybe getting a bit more of a fan, how would you say, a fan favourite sort of fighter. I think Rob Font's style is one which, is very easy on the eyes, and he's both very technical, but also very, not necessarily flashy, but he's very fun to watch. And I think Chito Vera, he's kind of got this sort of aura around him of, I think he's, since moving from Ecuador to the US and the things he's done to get into this position, you kind of feel it coming off him that, he feels like he's bigger than what he is at the moment. And I really believe that he will be, in a title shot at least one day. I think, the fight is going to play out majority on the feet. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Chito maybe look for a takedown once or twice in this fight, just to give him a couple decent looks. But I really don't think it's going to be much of the fight taking part on the mat. I think the majority of this fight is going to be on the feet, where I think both fighters are really comfortable. I think if you look at Rob Font, I think you'd highlight that the boxing is going to probably be his key to victory. And for me, it's going to be getting the timing down and really offsetting Chito Vera, and I think he's probably going to be looking to do this with the jab. I think you might see him switch stance as well. I think the fact that if he can switch stance, it might take away one of the better weapons of Chito Vera. And by that, I mean Vera's leg kicks. I think the kicking game of Vera is going to be, the biggest strength for him, in my opinion. I think he's going to be looking to fight at range and on his own terms. I think you're going to probably see him use a similar, not necessarily similar to what he did to Frankie. Obviously, he got the finish over Frankie Edgar, and that, I mean, the brutal picture of Edgar's face being crushed by the teep kick to the face. But yeah, what I mean is I think you're going to see Vera use a lot of teep kicks to the body, because he doesn't really have to worry about the takedown of Rob Font. And I think the leg kicks are going to be there as well. That's why I think if Rob Font switches to southpaw, obviously he'll have the inside and he'll have the lead outside kick. But I think taking away the low calf kick, from the right leg of Chito Vera is going to be a big part. And if not, he's going to have to be really good with his checks. I'm just not sure he will be able to stop the onslaught of the leg kicks if he doesn't switch stance. I think if you look at both of these fighters as well, I think this fight is more suited towards a war on the feet. Neither of them in all of their fights have been finished by strikes. I think Rob Font's been submitted once in his entire career, and that was by Pedro Munoz, who is phenomenal with the guillotines and that. And Chito Vera, never been finished. I think he's got 7 defeats, and all 7 are by decision. And for me, I think that kind of shows that back in the day, Vera, how much he's improving now. I think he's less likely to want to leave it in the judges' hands. And I think he looks like someone who's going to be hard to put away. And I think Rob Font, despite having really good power and speed in his hands, I think he's going to struggle to probably put away Chito Vera. So I can definitely see this one going to the scorecards, and that's why I think it's got one of the fight of the year potentially. I think it could be a candidate for fight of the year just because of the fact how both of their styles clash. The fact there's 5 rounds, you're probably going to have to see them both dig really deep, especially stamina-wise. And I think that both of them have shown that they're not easy to put away on the feet. I mean, you look at Rob Font against Aldo, that guy took a beating, and he never looked for a way out. And I think, I don't know if Vera's got the ability to put a bigger whooping on him than that. I think this might be a really close fight. Going into it, I mean, let's see who the favourite is in this fight. That'd be really interesting if we could see the odds, because so Rob Font is a slight favourite, -140. There you go, -140 Rob Font, plus 120 Marlon Vera, and I think that's probably fair. Vera coming in now at the number 8, and Font coming in at the number 5. Probably the win over Garbrandt, which was so impressive by Font. Probably the hype he got off that in the rankings as well. I can understand why they probably have him as a slight favourite, but in my opinion, I think it's going to come down to what the judges prefer. I think it's going to be a really close fight. I think it's probably going to be 3-2 either way. I think it's going to be one of those fights, if you watch it, one day and then you watch it the next, you might score it a different way. But for me, I think you're going to see Vera get his hand raised in this one. I just think he's the more, not necessarily dynamic, but I think he's got the more in the toolbox for me. I think you're going to see the kicking game work really well for him, and I think he can mix it with the hands with Font. I think you're going to see a lot of blood in this one. I think it's going to be really fun. But yeah, guys, that's the that is my prediction then. I'm going to go for Marlon Chito Vera, sorry, by a decision win, 49-48. I think it's going to be a really fun one, guys. Next week, I'm going to be giving you my reaction to this fight. We've got boxing this weekend as well. I'll give you my reaction to Serrano versus Katie Taylor. Was it Shaquille Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez? I think one of the what I forgot his name, doesn't matter, but I'll be giving you my reaction to this fight as well. I think this one's going to be fun, guys, so make sure you stick into it and well, tune into it, and some of the undercard fights are really good as well, especially on that main card. But that's it from me. As I said at the start of the video, if you did enjoy it, please leave a like, comment down below, let me know who you think is going to win the fight and why, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming content, all things MMA, all things boxing. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care of yourself. Peace. Bye.